of the Revere License Commission will be held by remote participation only. There is a link to join the License Commission meeting, and hopefully you will see it on the agenda page and click on. As to the meeting, the following matters. Actually, before we begin the agenda, I'd like to welcome our a new commissioner, Commissioner Daniel Osina, who will be this will be his first meeting, and we want to welcome him aboard and look forward to a fruitful relationship benefiting the city of.
I would also like to welcome him aboard, and I look forward to working with him. But I also would like to thank John LaCroix, our former commissioner, for the great job that he's performed over the years with us. And I wish him luck in his new endeavors.
Absolutely. That's very true. Welcome aboard, Daniel.
Thank you.
The following matters will come before the Revere License Commission at the regular scheduled meeting today. The meetings previously filed with the city clerk. The first items will be applications submitted for consideration. Item number 1, the Revere Lodge number 1171 of the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks of the USA, Inc., 198 Shirley Avenue. James Hannon is the manager. Now, this is an application for a change of officers and directors of an all-alcohol club license. The application of the Revere Lodge 1171 of the BPOE of USA, Inc., for a change of officers to reflect election of club officers. Is there someone from the Revere Lodge in the queue?
I do not see anybody for them.
Okay. I don't see or hear anybody, so I guess we will table that and move to item number 2. Dolcan LLC, DBA Istanbul Diner Cafe, 120 VFW Parkway. Suleiman Ozgan is the manager. This is an application for a common victular and entertainment license. The application of Dolcan LLC, DBA Istanbul Diner Cafe for a common victular and entertainment license to be exercised at 120 VFW Parkway. The requested hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. The requested seating is 24. The requested entertainment is recorded instrumental music played on computer. Is there someone from the Istanbul Cafe here?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Your name and address for the record, please, sir.
My name is Süleyman Azgın, 120 VFW Parkway, Revere, Mass.
Very good, sir. Can you just explain briefly what your plans are for the cafe?
Yes, sir. In the future, right now we don't open for breakfast, but after the COVID is done, we like to open 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we don't have no alcohol in our premise. Yes, any question? I'm very happy to answer it.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions? Yes, Commissioner Gonasso.
When you say 120 VFW Parkway, is that the mall or is that exactly where is that?
This is kind of, we have next door, we have a laundromat here. There used to be Shanghai Express. Yes, ma'am. It used to be Shanghai Express and we are take over the place.
It's near Beach Sales, right on that side. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. And we are happy to invite you here and try our foods after we open.
I've been in there before. It's a very nice place.
Great, great. I'm forward to seeing you guys.
I have no other questions.
Sure.
Very
Anybody
good.
else?
Are there any other questions? I don't have any questions. I've looked at the package. I see that you know it looks like it's going to be a great venue. I hope you have a lot of success there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I would make a motion that we grant.
Excuse me, Commissioner, do we have any proponents in the audience?
Commissioner Guanasso, thank you very much for getting me under control. That's the end of that section of the meeting. Thank you, sir. Are there any other proponents? Does anybody else want to speak on behalf of the Istanbul Diner Cafe? I don't see or hear any, so we will move to the opponents. Is anybody opposed to the issuing of this license? I don't see or hear anybody. So we will move to a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve if our colleague has no questions, other questions. I would make a motion to approve.
Do you want to make a motion to second that, Commissioner?
I would. Second. Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. I'd
Very
second that.
Very good. Thank you very much. The application is approved for a common victular and entertainment license of Dolcan LLC, DBA Istanbul Diner Cafe. The license is to be exercised at 120 VFW Parkway. The requested hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Requested seating is 24. The requested entertainment is the recorded instrumental music played on computer. Your license is approved, sir. Good luck. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much, and I will wait for every one of you guys to visit my location. And
I hope that's true. I'm going to go by and check it out.
no, it's not 100%. Thank you, guys.
I will as well.
Thank you. I got nice kebabs too. Wonderful day, guys. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Have a
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Bye now.
That concludes the applications. The next item on the agenda is a hearing, item number 3. Four Partners, Inc., DBA Antonia's at the Beach, 492 Revere Beach Boulevard. Rodrigo Angulo is the manager. This is a hearing into violation of health codes, entertainment license, and state law relative to control of alcoholic beverage license. Is there someone from Four Partners, Inc.? I don't see or hear anybody.
Yes, I think we have someone in the audience. Do you have your gallery on?
Oh, okay, yes.
Hi.
Is your microphone unmuted, sir?
Can
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mike,
Hi, my name is Rodrigo Angulo. I'm the owners of Antonio's at the Beach for 12 years now.
okay. Well, the reason why you're here is you got a license on, you got a letter on June 30th regarding a series of license violations. And so what I'd like to do now is, rather than read this, is basically just hear from the health inspector regarding what his position is on the violations that he observed, and basically, you know, what your attitude was and how you dealt with it. So
Okay.
I'd like to ask Inspector Wells to come on and basically fill us in on what's going on here.
So during COVID-19 regulations, as far as restaurants go, there were regulations outlined, as in any sector during COVID-19, of regulations that each establishment and business had to conform to. So during compliance checks out and about, there were a few different violations that happened down at Antonia's. So starting on June 10th, they had outdoor seating with more than 6 people at a table. I believe there was a photo when I went by that night, there was nine plus people at a table. Spoke to Fernando about that in an email. I sent that to him, followed up with him the next day. Father's Day weekend, there were violations as well. They built a patio in the back of their restaurant without any authorization or going through the outdoor seating application process through licensing, health, building, and fire. So they constructed an outside patio in the rear of the restaurant. They were licensed to have outdoor seating in the front of the restaurant. Licensed to put 10 tables, and they had 13 tables, not enforcing social distancing of 6 feet. There was also a disc jockey performing on the sidewalk that weekend, both days. There was a tent constructed on the patio out back, not approved by the fire department. And I believe that's the bulk of the violations that were observed during compliance checks.
Disposable menus. I'm looking at a inspection report that you submitted
Yes.
with.
Yep. I'm sorry, I missed that one. Not using disposable menus. That was fixed after that. He did have disposable menus on here.
Now, I see here that you spoke to him on June 13th and then issued this thing on June 21st. So was there any clarification issue from your point of view? You think you were clear in the instructions, or?
I thought I was clear. What happened after I left? I'm pretty consistent. I'm out there on the weekends driving down the beach, especially during warm weather, ensuring that everybody's doing the right things on all businesses, especially the outdoor ones. So yes, where it went wrong, I'm not sure, but there were emails that went back and forth between me and Fernando as well, outlining any violations to be fixed, and I would always follow up on the following day.
Thank you. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Well, yes, I have a couple of questions. I also are down there quite often. I have relatives right next door. And as you said, you've been in business for 20 years. I can tell you in the middle of the COVID, I know what your statement was, but I do travel there. I did see for myself. You ran a party inside. This was way before we even had outdoor seating. And when you were confronted, you said, well, it was only 4 or 5 people. We were just taking pictures for a birthday party. You were to be closed. There were many more than 4 or 5 people there. I know what I saw. I know what the neighbors saw. So unfortunately, they didn't take pictures, but you had a large crowd there. You had decorated chairs throughout your building, all in white. So that we're not even addressing today because we don't have the pictures. And to be frank with you, someone said to me, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but they had a very large crowd. After that, you still continue to put your tables out there. You put tables in the back. You're there 20 years. You knew what the rules and regulations were if you were allowed to put outdoor seating. And you just decided to go down the driveway around the corner, put up tents, put out an outside bar. There's a bar there. And you just continue to do business as usual. So I'm a little perplexed as to you saying you're there 20 years, but the rules and regulations don't seem to apply to Antonia's. And I why, and I'll have one other thing also that I observe because I drive that driveway a minimum of 3 times a day. The side door is always wide open, okay? There are people out there, they're drinking, they're smoking. We had made many years ago, you were still the manager there, that we wouldn't do that. The door was to be kept closed. And they're out there smoking and drinking. I see this myself, so it's not something that, I was told. So I'd just like to know why these rules and regulations haven't applied to Antonia's, and yet the rest of the city gets it. They know what they should do and shouldn't. Okay. And my other concern, I don't know if Michael Wells can help me. I've brought it up to the board before, and I don't know, truthfully, if there's rules and regulations, but you do live in a residential area. We can agree with that. You've put up very large lighting all around the front of that building. I'm just wondering, do we need that much lighting? Being a little more considerate of your neighbors. And I don't know if there isn't rules and regulations on how much lighting can go outside on the sidewalks. So that is something that, if you can work with me, fine, or maybe we should just get a ruling from the building department. But those are my concerns. And I know that Michael Wells has been down there. I know other inspectional services have been down there, but I don't see great changes after they do come down. And we try to correct it without calling you for a meeting, but it seems like that's the only way we get anything done is to call you in. So I'd just like to know why things changed so much that you went ahead and added actually another section to Antonia's in the back.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Guanasso. Commissioner Osina, do you have any questions for these gentlemen?
I do. I had an opportunity to review all the documents, especially the report from Health Inspector Wells, and I share Commissioner Guanasso's concerns that it just seems to me like there isn't someone in charge at Antonia's that's going to essentially be responsible for taking the lead or the responsibility for addressing some of these concerns, especially after he came out twice. It didn't seem like anything took place. So I guess my question to, I think, Fernando is, since this has been brought to our attention, what measures has your restaurant taken to ensure compliance with the new rules and regulations that were issued by the governor?
Thank you, Commissioner Osina. Gentlemen, you've heard the questions from the commissioners. So are they gone now? I don't see them anymore.
Yeah, excuse me, commissioners, they did appear to drop out here. They might pick right back up. I'm hoping.
Are we going to have no response from the building? This is seems to be what happens. There's no response here.
Yes, it was a most unfortunate ending at a most inopportune time. But we will, I guess we'll continue on.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. There is one other attendee. I don't know if she wished to speak or anything, or if she would be involved. It's,
For this matter,
yeah, should I allow her to speak or?
please do.
Okay.
Maggie.
If you wish to unmute, you may do so. Okay, I don't believe that the attendee has anything to say. So I will
Very good.
allow the talking permitted. I still do not see the license holders back.
Okay, well, they maybe are huddling now, trying to figure out how to operate the Zoom. But I think as far as the information is concerned, I mean, in my opinion, they're not abiding by the conditions of their licenses, either of them, any of them for that matter, it doesn't appear. And, they have an obligation to the city and the residents to abide by this stuff. I understand COVID hurt everybody, but, you can't be trying to collect extra money because you have some space to put tables. There are other considerations. So, I mean, we as a commission have some remedies that we can use. We can suspend the entertainment license, part of it or all of it, for a period of time. We can change the hours and roll back hours of the establishment. Or we could move to suspend the license, which would require more of an administrative process, but there are remedies available. So I'd be interested to see if my fellow commissioners have any ideas regarding those remedies.
Well, I have a couple ideas. I think that if everyone's in agreement with me, that it seems like most of the violations are outside, and he's adding the tables and the lights and the patio. So I guess my recommendation would probably be to maybe cut down his seating outdoors, because it seems more that's where the problem is. As far as the incident that happened indoors, well, that was, 2 months ago, and I'm sure we can address that. So I feel the entertainment license, I agree, we could cut that down, but I'm not looking to put them out of business, but I am looking for them to pay more attention to the rules and regulations of their license. So I guess my route would probably go more to cut down on their outdoor seating.
Very good.
My question is what,
Hello.
I think the
oh, they're
gentleman,
back.
We just get back. I'm sorry, we missed like 5 minutes.
okay, actually, we wanted to go back to, you heard the commissioners' questions that they had.
Yes.
You address them and see, what your plans are to fix the situation before we start thinking about suspensions or any rollbacks or things like that. So we'd like to hear, what your plans are before we take any action.
First of all, I want to start with apologizing for all this inconvenience that we have. It's our fault. I have to take the blame. I blame the coronavirus that we needed to do something really fast. And when we called City Hall, it was a little bit of waiting. And we were so desperate to have a party that we have. And we all will take the blame. We apologize, but think about it that I'm here for 12 years and we try to do our best. And every time the inspector comes, please let me know of everything we gotta do, we'll do it. We wanna comply with your rules and regulations, and we're not trying to be a troublemaker. Like I say, I start with apologize and nothing else I can say.
Well, I mean, look, you guys have a place down there. It's a nice spot. We want you to make a successful business down there. It helps the city. But you have an obligation to abide by the license, and you have an obligation to abide by the regulations imposed by the health inspector and the other city agencies. And to that end, we have an obligation to protect the people from people who don't do that. And so now it comes to, are we going to work together, or are we?
Can I just add something to this?
Yes, sir. Your name and address for the record, please.
I live actually next door to the restaurant, 484 Riviera Beach Boulevard. And probably I'm the responsible for all these things that you guys already mentioned. And like Rodrigo say, I'm really sorry. First, I had 25 people that depends on Antonia's and everything. So once we all set to open, before this, I've been trying to back and forth in emails, asking for what should I do. It's going to be really, really hard. You guys working remote, just taking time to replay and everything. So speaking about the patio, just gonna go one by one, the things that you already mentioned. Okay. Speaking about the second patio, my original plan was to build something nice next to the parking, but that's gonna be building. So we asked for what we're gonna do. So actually, Michael was helping me. He said, Fernando, you're gonna receive some email from Maggie. She's gonna tell you what to do. And then finally she replied to me, said, you gotta go to building department because you're gonna build something. I got some constructions and we was talking about it, but they say it's gonna be between 15,000 and 20,000. There's something that we can't afford to do it. So we didn't do it. At the end, we said, okay, what about if I build something nice on the side? I just cover, I just gonna make a plants around, and can we use it? Fine. So yeah, that was taking time. At the end, we opened. That was Father's Day, and I had used minimum seating on the front, and that was really big. You know, we make a really space in between. So I had like only like 5 tables on each side. So okay, let's gonna open this one. There was big one, and that was really apart. So we make another 10 tables. When they come say you're not supposed to do this because you were supposed to ask for permit, that was something that did not take more than 10 minutes. And they asked me to stop using it. And actually I used only once, that's it. And like I said, I was more about not being informed to difference between building or just make something. And that was inside the parking. So I said, okay, maybe we can use. I was making nothing like, oh, I want to do it because I want to make something bad. I was more, that was a good day, Father's Day. I had a lot of people working. I called all my servers to work, everybody to work. And to be honest, what I did that day was to pay my people. 3 months without work, that was the day to give it something to my people, that's all. Speaking about a couple times that Michael comes around and says, you guys don't use a distancing. That's something surprised me because I seen another business that maybe she forgot to mention also around in this area, and they're really close one to another one. And I can show you pictures, and nobody say nothing. And they had 2 lines, nobody say nothing. And I have only 1 line with 5 and 5 tables, and it's really apart. And I can show you the pictures every time. When he came, that was 11 o'clock, just about to open, and I got so mad with my servers because they're supposed to stretch all the tables, and they just was lazy to move it. Because we at the night we put it together to tie everything. So in the morning they had to move it. So to fix this problem, I got more rope to tie. I don't need to move the tables at night and then open again and move it again. So I fixed that. About the you mentioned about the menus. I have proofs and I can send you. They order from Staples. That cost me $150 every time. And I have back in the time, right? And also I ordered from another vendor, $200, something nice in color. So I have it. Same thing, when he comes to Fernando, you're not supposed to use this one. I say, oh, it's there because they don't put away. That was the other ones. And actually it's more like plastic. So they keep over there, they're supposed to remove everything, but I also have my menus next to there. But again, I said, we're gonna remove everything, make sure nobody use that. I'm sorry, like I say, I have everything. Before we open, I had chemicals, sanitizers, floor chemicals, chemical for the tables. I got everything ready, right? So please don't tell me that I wasn't working with the rules. I did it and I follow every single rule. We've all been in this business for a long time, in restaurants, in convention centers, in hotels. We both together working this one. So I don't want to, step on the rules or whatever. I want to do it. And Maggie knows that every time I have any question, I go to her. Maggie, I need to do this. Maggie, what can I do? Maggie, should I do this? So she always helped me a lot, right? This was more desperate to do something right now. Let's do something. We gotta make business today. He mentioned about something that happened with a group that they do Skype on the beach. They come only 5 people, and that was 5 people on the table. At some point, another guys came, and they put the table together. When I was over there, I said, guys, sorry, you can't do that. But somebody took a picture, because somebody was there. And they come again and say, unfortunately, you can't do that. You gotta be 5 or 6, and the other one's on the table, right? You cannot put the table together. I mean, we gotta be more babysitter. We gotta be on top of the time. I'm 24/7. I don't have day off. I have to be there every single time to make sure everything is working. People, we have problems, even when people passing by, can you please put your mask? Can you please? People get mad. I'm sorry, you can't get into the restaurant if you don't have a mask. Sometimes you get tired, people get tired, put it a little bit down. It's gonna happen. But it's something new. We got into something that's never happened before. And like I say, I apologize. Antonio Restaurant is one of the most beautiful restaurants in Riviera. And there's so many good things coming. And I just want to support a minority owns a restaurant. It's 2 Colombian guys owns a restaurant. It looked like every time I do something, I have to, please, 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 and I do. And I have more knowledge about restaurants because we've been working in great places, you know? And I need you guys to help me a little bit more. And I'm sorry if in some way, you know, people get offended for things that we do. I don't think they get offended for things that we do. They get offended because Colombian or Latinos owns a beautiful place. That's all. That's what I feel. But about anything, if you tell me, Fernando, from now on, you gotta do this. Even when Michael came in, and Michael is a great person. He comes, Fernando, do this. You should do this way, and I follow him. You know,
All right.
he's speaking about the boots. I put some glass in the boots. I do anything he asks me. Can you do this? I do it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Commissioner Guanasso?
I just have a response. As far as what you're doing and the paper menus and what you're doing, please don't feel like you're being picked on, because I think that's the way you're going. Every restaurant in this city, and Michael Wells can attest to that, have to do the same thing. We have not had a problem with any other restaurant. So I just want to clear that up. You were using the menus you had. You did not use paper menus, and that's it. You said you're sorry. You should leave it at that, okay? Because if I'm something from Michael Wells, I know he's writing down what's going on. And you mentioned another business on the beach, which I think is, you know, something we don't have to do. He has 2 tables. He has double tables. He also had to go through all that paperwork. He had to go into town. He went to DCR. DCR signed off to give him more sidewalk space. So he legally, this board would not let him operate with double tables if it wasn't legal. So the only reason that was voted for, he had permission. And the commission voted that it was okay for the double. You can apply for the same thing. Go to DCR, see if DCR will allow you to take, I think they gave him another 3 feet. So you'll be able to do that, and that will solve your problem from having to go in the back. But please, sir, that was done legally. He had the paperwork from DCR. He was not allowed to do it until we saw that paperwork. So you may want to take that same route. You may be able to get double seating. So I have no problem as long as you go by the rules and the regulations of the License Commission. No one else is doing anything. I'm sure Michael Wells can attest to that, that no one else is doing anything unless we have the paperwork. If they have double tables, we can't even give, I couldn't vote for you right now to have double tables because we don't, Revere does not own those sidewalks. DCR owns the sidewalk. You have to get permission from them. If they say you can get more tables, then you can come back to us and we can vote on that. And you would be able to have the same thing who you say is running with double tables. We did vote for that and it was unanimous. So maybe you want to take that route too. And you could do the same thing without worrying about looking for more space for tables.
Okay.
That's, he does have a license for that.
All right, thank you.
I do have a quick response, and
Yes,
I'll be brief, Chair. Thank you for coming back on, and I sat and listened to your response to our questions, and I have to reject the notion that this is brought about simply because we have some great Latino men who owns a beautiful restaurant on the beach. It's not about that. And I have to reject that notion or even the insinuation of it. It's purely, if you're following the rules, the inspector wouldn't have had an issue when he drove by your restaurant. And I think everybody on the commission would like to see Antonia's win. I think it's great for the city, the diversity of the city. And no one is on this board is looking to create problems for you. If you're only allowed to have a certain number of individuals, patrons outside, let's stick to that number. And as a business owner myself, we have to look at what we're allowed to do and play within those bounds. It's literally as simple as that. I mean, my question before you got off was, in light of these recent violations, what has Antonia done to rectify those issues? But more importantly, who's responsible to ensure that you are complying with the rules, but more importantly, knowledgeable about the rules? Who's going to take that responsibility to say, when you come into your restaurant every day, to make sure the patio area and the outdoor seating is properly placed and the number of people is out there, and more importantly, complying with the governor's mandate as it relates to the COVID crisis? So that was my question, and I don't believe I got a clear answer on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to mention about the the changes. Yes, there was a learning little by little. Once we opened, there was more things confused about how we do it. Like, yes, we follow everything about like I mentioned, chemicals and make sure everybody use gloves, everybody use masks, all the stuff, and make sure stuff like this. For example, this is tables how it's supposed to be all the time. And as you can see how far it is from the other side. Speaking about like what you mentioned right now, ask for permit to go bigger. I don't really want to go bigger because I don't want to be so crowded. Once we can be inside, and that's something that I told my hostess. When somebody comes, don't just try to get inside, because inside I have more room, and it's not gonna be crowded because everybody wants to be outside. So just try to manage. Just make sure you split the people in all the restaurant, not too close. So yes, I can apply, and I already applied for the DCR, make the second row. But at the beginning, I was like, I'm happy with only one, less tables, and make sure don't move the tables, make sure keep in the same position because it's already market. That's something that, like I said, I've been learning day by day, and be there 24/7. Literally, I'm there from when we open, before we open till we close, make sure everything's fine. Guys, you can be there. Guys, please use the mask. Because we all learn. Even if I train all the staff every day, people try to do things. So I'm there to make sure but Fernando, is different when you as a manager or as a person in charge, you tell them to do and they follow you. But for me, it's hard to say, we gotta implement this, because it's either that, I'm sorry, you gotta go. It's how serious is this thing. And I don't want, and that's something that I told them, I don't want to be close another 3-4 months. I want to be, you guys need a job, I need a job. We need to get this place working, right? So again, for me, I don't take it well when they come and say, Fernando, you did this wrong, fix it. I fix it right away. And I don't want you to next time we come and find out that we didn't listen. We do listen. And like I said, that's why I don't want to have like many tables. I'm fine with what I have right now. Antonia's is really big, so we can use the whole space, And that's it. Like I said, for first, I'm really sorry when we opened, everything happened in one day, and that was more like okay, we've been close, we gotta make sure everything's working. We're gonna be busy. Great. So, but after that, you can see like every time that you say that you're driving by, you say the beautiful place, it's nice environment, people enjoy, food is great, and I heard good things about the place, and I want to keep it like that, and I want to keep this place the most beautiful place in Revere, and that's what I keep in the same concept, and I make so many improves about this place, make it beautiful. And I want my neighbors feel like proud to this place. And I have so many, especially the new buildings, they're coming over because they love it, and I want they be safe, not just my employees, because they have to be safe, also my customers. That's the most important right now. And I don't want to be close again. I don't want to be back, because I have 25 people who depends on Antonia's. And I'm telling you, I have a lot of people working over there.
Thank you, sir. Excuse me one second, Commissioner Guanasso. Commissioner Osina, did the gentleman answer your question to your satisfaction?
Not entirely, but we can move on.
Very good. Commissioner Guanasso?
I just have one question through Michael. Michael, what are the rules and regulations of smoking outside at the tables?
No smoking outside.
No smoking outside. And does Antonia's realize that they can't smoke at the tables outside?
Definitely.
I haven't encountered that on any visit.
Well, I have. Your last table, right by your back door, Actually, it's a frequent patron you have, sits at the very last table and smokes. Okay, so you will want to keep an eye on that last table, because I will take a picture if you don't see it. And as I said, I am down there at least 3 times a day down the driveway.
Mhm.
And they sit right at that very last table by your side door and smoke.
Well,
Okay.
actually,
And it's a regular patron.
we're gonna put big signs, but actually, yes. Let me tell you, just yesterday, I had somebody smoking there does back. They said, you know, you can't do it. And then I had somebody smoking. That was the tables. I was saying, you can't. You gotta go. And you can go around the restaurant by the parking. I had the thing to smoke, the smoking
Yes.
area. So,
Yes.
I mean, it's hard when people try. You know, you gotta babysit literally too. Excuse me, you can't do that. You can't do here. I mean, I had to ask today.
Maybe you need to put up no smoking signs, because
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll put signs.
Yeah,
This
we're
is-
gonna make
We
sure,
will.
you know, it's nobody.
well,
Yeah,
you know,
because it's, for me,
it's when
even
I
I'm
go-
not a smoker and I'm not a drinker, you know?
I'm
So
not talking about
I don't
Lisa.
like it.
Saying, when I go by, there was a fellow that's smoking at the table, your very last table. of- Now, you just said it yourself. So, sir, I'm not saying things I don't see myself.
Okay.
If there's a problem, I'll send Michael Wells or his special service to make sure it's a true story. People call, they say things. I like to check it out. I
No,
can tell
absolutely.
it's coming from me that they're smoking at that table.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely we're gonna put more signs and all over, make sure, you know, there's no,
No
I mean,
smoking
people
allowed.
knows, come on, this is Massachusetts. I've been no smoking for years. It's nothing new, it's for years.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Uh, A question for Inspector Wells. Michael, do you think that this situation is improving? Is it getting worse? Are you satisfied that you can work with these gentlemen to correct these things? If we were to give them a period of time to do that?
You know, I never want to see anybody have their rights taken away, or, you know, that they are a license holder in our city and they do operate a nice restaurant down there. You know, and it's just more of following the rules. They don't do a bad job down there, but they need to do things the right way. If they applied for outdoor seating, like all the other establishments did, they did it the right way through the application process, it would have been granted, just like everybody else's was, but we needed to have a plan on paper of what what they were going to do. And I'm sure they would have had no problem doing it, but he decided to take things into his own hands and not apply and build the patio on his own. What you guys decide to do is totally up to you. I think they are in compliance right now. I haven't seen any issues over the past couple weekends down there, you know, during my drive-bys on Friday, Saturdays, and Sunday nights. They are enforcing the social distancing outside. He's allowed to have 5 tables on the left, 5 tables on the right, which does give him enough space in between their tables to enforce that.
All right.
Inside, he did do a good job inside as far as, you know, rearranging a little bit to enforce all of that stuff as well. So the outdoor seating, I still think he needs to apply for it, if I'm not mistaken. It still hasn't been applied. Maybe he did apply for it. Maybe it just wasn't. I think he might have applied for it actually, and it just has not been granted yet until we went through this meeting.
Very good. As Commissioner Osina said, no one here is looking to hurt Antonia's, and they understand that the COVID situation has put a lot of pressure on all these types of hospitality businesses, particularly. In that regard, I mean, all we want to do really is protect the public. And so, I mean, I would put in a motion to continue this hearing for 30 days and see what 30 days looks like. As long as they comply, we bring them back for the next meeting and we can act accordingly to dismiss it or take appropriate action. But it would not hurt them greatly. And I think we could get some compliance. I don't know how my fellow commissioners feel about it, but that would be my motion to continue this hearing for 30 days.
I have no problem with continuing the hearing, but what I do find, if an inspectional service does have to go down there for any reason, and they write them up on a violation, then I would call for an emergency meeting and act accordingly,
Would you
So-
want to put that in the form of an amendment to my motion?
please.
So the motion that's there right now is that we would continue this hearing for 30 days. If there is a intervening violation within that period of time, the License Commission would move for an emergency meeting, at which point we would move for sanctions or remedy. Is that the motion that you want to propose, Commissioner?
Yes, I would make that motion unless Commissioner Osina wants to make, add anything.
The motion that's on the table?
So moved. No, I have no issue with that motion. I would second it.
Very good. The motion will carry. The motion to continue this matter for 30 days with the proviso that should the licensee get written up by the inspectional services or any of the other city agencies regarding their licenses, that we will move for an emergency meeting at that time. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, thank you very much.
Very good. So, just so you know, it's incumbent on you to really work with Inspector Wells,
Sure.
the other city agencies, as far as keeping your place in compliance, because like I say, no one here wants to see you have problems. We want you to succeed.
Thank you so much.
We all just have to play by the same rules.
Yes.
All right. So
Thank you.
thank you, gentlemen. And
Thank
have
you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
that concludes the hearing. The next matters are communications. A notice from the Massachusetts Alcohol Beverage Control Commission approving alterations of premises for NIA Entertainment Holdings LLC, DBA Showcase Cinemas Revere Chatters Bar. And also a notification from the Revere City Council of passage of an ordinance regulating food trucks. I think that ordinance was in your package of material. I don't know if you want to discuss that or if you just want to let it stand as it is. I will, does any of my fellow commissioners want to make any comment on the food truck ordinance?
I'll be honest, Commissioner, I really haven't read through it. I've skimmed through it, but there's a lot more that was tweaked in that. And I would really need more time. I would like to speak on it maybe.
Right now, anyway.
Same.
All right, well, that concludes the items on my agenda. Does anybody have anything else on the License Commission that you'd like to discuss before we adjournment?
No,
Very good. I will move to adjourn until let me look at the calendar.
August 19th.
Thank you, Maggie. I will make a motion to adjourn till August 19th, 2020.
So moved.
motion.
Yes, motion is to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Once, the meeting is adjourned. Have a nice day.